Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into Swar yoga, specifically the Chandra Naadi. That's the energy tied to your left nostril.
Right.
We're exploring how knowing when this energy is active might actually help you figure out the best times for, well, different things you do.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How something like which nostril you're breathing through connects to your inner state. The Chandra Nadi, or Ida Nadi as it's also known, it's linked to this cooler lunar energy.
Lunar energy, yeah.
And there are interesting parallels, with the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's way of calming down.
Exactly. Think cooling, receptive calming. This energy is supposed to help with mental clarity, emotional balance, even introspection and creativity. And, your dominant nostril actually switches naturally.
It does, usually every hour, maybe 2 hours.
Right. And the left one, Chandra Nadi, tends to be more active in the evening or sometimes during the waning moon.
That's the general pattern, yeah.
So, okay, when this cooler lunar energy is dominant, what activities are particularly good fits?
Well, given that calming influence, it makes sense that things needing relaxed focus are easier. Meditation, mindfulness, they can feel more accessible.
Okay.
You might notice that even just 10 minutes focusing on your breath feels, deeper somehow. Some old texts even link it to quieting that mental chatter.
Which is kind of the goal of mindfulness anyway, right?
Precisely.
What about creative stuff? Does it help there?
Oh, absolutely. That boost in intuition and imagination, it can be really helpful. So things like journaling, sketching, maybe playing music without worrying about structure.
Just letting it flow.
Exactly. It might feel more fluid.
Okay, interesting. And what if you need to buckle down and, say, learn something?
Well, the mental clarity aspect and maybe even better memory recall associated with Chandra Nadi, that could be a real advantage.
So reading a tough chapter, taking notes, maybe even puzzles.
Yeah, tackling those might feel a bit less like pushing uphill,
Got it. So it's not just absorbing information, but making decisions too.
Yes, exactly. That calmer state of mind plus that bit of intuition can really support thoughtful planning or reflecting on choices you need to make.
Makes sense.
And naturally, it's a great time for just plain relaxation and rest.
Of course.
Practices like yoga nidra for maybe 15, 20 minutes, or even just lying down and focusing on slow breathing, perfect alignment with that parasympathetic state.
And how does it tie into emotional well-being?
That sort of soothing quality is thought to help with processing feelings, maybe through things like writing down your emotions or doing a gratitude practice. It just feels more supported.
Okay. And spiritual practices.
The lunar connection really lends itself to that. So chanting, maybe Om Shanti, or reading spiritual texts, it can feel deeper.
It sounds like it's all about aligning with this gentler, more receptive energy. Does that extend to how we interact with people?
I think so, yeah. The empathy and receptivity it fosters can lead to, more understanding conversations. You're maybe listening a bit more deeply. And for yoga practitioners, gentle cooling poses fit right in. Things like child's pose, seated forward bends, maybe moon salutations.
Aligning the physical practice too.
Right. And finally, sleep prep. Since it's often dominant in the evening.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. Even just 5 minutes of breathing only through the left nostril before bed could potentially help you wind down.
Okay, so lots of beneficial activities.
Yeah.
Are there things we should maybe steer clear of when the Chandra Nadi is dominant?
Generally, yeah. Anything really heating or super stimulating might feel a bit jarring, like really intense workouts or eating very heavy meals that demand a lot from your digestion. Even maybe too much screen time or intense mental stimulation right before trying to rest. It sort of conflicts with that cooling energy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if someone feels they need a bit more of that calm Chandra Nadi energy, how can they encourage it?
There are a few pretty simple things you can try. Physically, just lying down on your right side for a little while often encourages the breath to shift more to the left nostril.
Really? It's changing position.
Often, yeah. Or another little trick is gently pressing under your right armpit for a bit.
Huh. Interesting hacks.
They can work. And then there's the more direct approach. Left nostril breathing, or Chandra Badana Pranayama.
How do you do that?
You just gently close your right nostril, usually with your ring finger, and then breathe slowly and deeply just through the left nostril. Inhale for maybe 4 to 6 seconds. Exhale for 4 to 6 seconds.
Okay.
Doing that for, say, 5 or 10 minutes. Some people also find visualizing cool, silvery moonlight while they do it helps enhance the effect.
Visualization, nice.
And of course, you can try timing activities like planning creative work for the evening or during the waning moon phase to naturally align.
Right, so the big takeaway here seems to be that by paying attention to our breath, maybe even gently nudging it, we can get clues about our internal energy
Exactly.
and aligning what we do with that energy.
Yeah.
Well, it could potentially lead to more mental clarity, better emotional balance, maybe just a greater sense of inner peace.
It really could. Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. Just start noticing. Throughout your day, check in occasionally which nostril feels more open.
Just a quick awareness check.
Yeah. Could these little shifts be telling you something about your energy, your focus right now? Maybe next time you want to brainstorm or you need a quiet moment to reflect. Try a few minutes of that left nostril breathing. Just experiment, see how it feels for you.